Hello, 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 folks. Welcome to another episode of Fictional Character Motivation, where we learn from movies, to where I dissect certain movies and pass it on to movies that we can learn something from. And today, we're going to introduce a longtime favorite of mine, which is The Last Samurai on Living Life in Every Breath. Hope everyone's doing well today, and we're going to dive in now. Last Samurai came out in 2003. Captain Nathan Algren is an American military officer hired by the Emperor of Japan to train the country's first army in the art of modern warfare. As the government attempts to eradicate the ancient samurai warrior class in preparation for more westernized and trade friendly policies, Algren finds himself unexpectedly affected by his encounters with the samurai, which places him at the center of a struggle between two eras and two worlds. So to me, I really like this movie. You know, a character trying to change martial arts everywhere, martial arts stories and epicness and nice scenery also everywhere. I also like the music too. It's very meditative and very inspiring. But we see a man who is ashamed of what he has done. So ashamed that he has become an alcoholic to try to drink it away, but only for it to return in his dreams, in his nightmares. It is until he loses the battle in Japan, but is spared as a prisoner and is held as a town captive in this town to where all the samurai are living and breathing and doing everything they can, raising family, making their swords, tending the fields, all this stuff. That he starts to see things differently and feels things differently. He sees the focus, the discipline these these awesome people have every day on the tasks and goals that they are pursuing, such as practicing hand-to-hand combat, blacksmithing, practicing the way of the sword fighting, meditation, cooking, archery. He sees, like, I think even tea time. Well, there was a scene where, from what I remember, this one of the second in command samurai were kind of leading, teaching this kid how to properly place this spoon on top of the teacup and how to smoothly transition from here to there. He sees that whatever they are trying to do, they are going for excellence. They're going towards the mastery of it. And there is some spirituality to that, you know? To focus on something, to make sure every technique, every inch, every part of it is as best as it can be. And just like it affected and influenced Nathan, seeing that on the daily can also affect you. It can change you. Seeing how much someone's going to put into work, seeing how someone either has passion for that job or just intense focus, intense carryover to make sure that everything is going well with that. that affects people. You, yeah, just like when you pretty much talk to somebody and you talk and you're talking to them, it's like, well, I do this, this, and this for work. And then you talk to someone else, and it's like, oh my God, I do this, I do this. I love every minute of it because I'm changing lives and I'm inspiring things and I'm doing this and I'm building incredible things. See how that can affect people? And then to not only just speak it, but to see it in action, to see them in action, to see that person in action, to see how when that person is in that position, in that light, it's like they are connected with them inner selves. It's like they're connected with the divine. It's like they just have this flow with them, this awesome feeling to where it almost inspires you that maybe you want to do that thing. Or in some cases to where you want to find the thing that you feel like you'll do that. Think about that. So, how can we live life in every breath, in every cup of tea, in every game we play, in every conversation we say? Ooh, I made a rhyme there. That was nice. As usual, I have some ideas. One of the first ideas that I have is what may help is focus on what you're doing. Make sure it engages you. Sometimes when we do stuff, just like when we're watching a show on TV, we watch it, but we'll also get connected to our phones. We'll watch it, but then we're like there, but we're not there. Find something that you want to focus on intently that engages you. Engages you doesn't have to mean, that it's just like, ooh, ah, but in a way it kind of does. But engaging could also be that you just want to focus on. You just want to like pay attention. One of the main reasons why I do like martial arts is when it's sparring time, is it's hard for your mind to wander when you realize that punches and kicks and someone's someone's trying to do some harm to you. Serious harm. Yeah, serious play, if you will. But but yeah, when you're in there, when you're in that moment, when you're focused, when you're engaged, when you're trying to be in that zone, try to find something. It doesn't have to be a job. It could be a hobby. It could be a side gig that you're trying to do. Try to focus on that. Okay. Number two, kind of linking in with what idea one was. Idea number two that I have: find a job, hobby, or interest you not only want to do, but want to be good at, want to be exceeding at. I think this may be more needed in the world than anything, because when we go for some things, we always kind of go for it uh, with a goal set in mind that this is going to be easy. That as soon as I do this, everything's going to connect. It's going to be so awesome, and we forget that that might happen with maybe one, two, or three things. But everything else, most of the time, you got to find that connection. You got to find that thing. So, what's better is you find something that you want to be good at. For me, with martial arts, I wanted to be good at that. I wanted to be able to be so good I could teach it, which I am right now. With some of my wood burning and etching, I wanted to be good at that. I wanted to be so good that pretty much I can just jump on a project and not really warm up and just go ahead and do like an awesome project. Getting to that point, but trying to do something that you want to be good at. to where it's like, there's there's what I like to call there's being all right, being good, being excellent, and being an artist. My Most of our process when I dive into most things is to be the artist. Is to be so good that I just sorry about that. That I just be so good that people just come to me and be like, wow, you're awesome. You were great. You're fantastic. That is just pretty, you know? And that's the mission right there. Sorry for that ring if you heard it. I apologize for that. But yeah, um, so you can use that, the good, great, excellent, and artist. So it's just like you just so good at it that's almost a new art form that you're doing. Try to go for that. Number three um, is focus on the current improvements you can make today, not your past failures and successes. This is where Captain Ogden comes in. See, he had a lot of potential in his life, but like the past that haunted him, and like it haunts all of us sometimes, once we do one bad thing, once we do that one failure that irks us, it haunts us in a way to where we feel like this is it. That is what I'll ever amount to be. Forgetting the fact that every new day presents a new possibility that you can stack a potential brick on, that you can stack some good stuff on. And I think we need to do that. And let's see here. So let's try to go for pretty much daily improvements, as much improvements as possible. And the last bit that we can go for is know that you will die. So enjoy it as best as you can. Yes, the workhorse, the money horse, all that is a part of life. But we forget that so is death. We think that because of how life is, because of how everything is, because of how everything moves, that we may be immortal in a way, that we almost have like 50 more years before we have to worry about death. Remember, death has no favorites. Now, are you least likely to pass from, certain diseases or certain uh, horrible cataclysmic like events because you may be more fit, you may be more aware, you may be more resilient, you may have that dog mentality of I'm going to keep going, keep doing this? Yeah, your chances of living and living a long life are increased, but it's not guaranteed. And that's what we have to know. And that's what we have to remember. That's what we have to do. Is that we have to remember that even though that this life is interesting, that this life seems like it's gonna run on forever, that it may not. As the and that's pretty much from one of the quotes from the movie. Is this that? So like you see the samurai general kind of looking at these pink flowers, the pink blossoms, and he looks at those flowers and he was reminded, like all his ancestors, that as beautiful as this is, that just like this tree, that we are dying, that we will pass. And the fact that we must do the best that we can in life, that we must try to pursue our own view of excellence, our own view of being the artist in our life is paramount, because we don't know how long it'll be. But just like the flowers that he saw, maybe our work, maybe our example will be more than eternal. Maybe what we did will be more than inspiring, even to the few, even to one or two, that it'll help them shape the world into the better thing. And I think we forgot that. That the world is just as much for us as it is for the future. But that's a little deep talking for another time. So remember, if any of this hit, if any of this landed, please let me know. Please like this video, subscribe, share this video. And if you listen to podcasts, like this podcast, follow this podcast, share this podcast. If it affected you in any way, please let me know how you feel. I'm always there to inspire. This is Quan with fictional character motivation. Hope everyone's doing awesome, and deuces.